So guys, I'm going to be walking you through my artistic process and we're going to be painting together. I've not tried this before, so this is my first paint with me session. And today I'm going to be painting an AI generated image of a female. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's supposed to talk about beauty using typicality and motifs, which is basically my style. So let's start sketching.
My name is Peace Ogochimere Onyeji. I'm also known as Ogo the Creator. I'm a polymorphic artist residing in Enugu State, and I specialize majorly on visual arts as well as beauty, fashion, and poetry. I have been one of those few creatives that find it difficult to pick a spot or to pick a specialization. I feel like I was born an artist, and I was also lucky enough to be born in an artistic family. Both of my parents are art inclined, and that aided this moral support I got. Like nobody was against me, like the typical Nigerian home where you're like you can't do art, it's not sustainable, like all that kind of stuff. So I was lucky to be in that kind of situation. Is an embodiment of or a fusion of different art forms, and this was not really the case earlier on, especially during my formative years, because I was told that I had to pick something. I specialized in just one thing and I couldn't diversify. But then growing up, getting older, I realized that you can actually do it all. Yeah, you would have a major, but you can have other substitutes aside what you're primarily known for. And that's exactly why I called it Ogo the Creator, not Ogo the Painter or Ogo the Artist or Ogo the Poet, because creativity is wholesome. It's like it's not just one thing. There are a lot of things you can do with creativity. So that's why I named the Ogo the Creator. And besides the whole issue of picking a specialization, I also had issues with skill sets. In Nigeria, it's quite hard to get some level of support in terms of the arts, and I'm not talking about like moral support like hey you can do this. I'm talking about like support in terms of skill. Not everybody's willing to teach you. There are not even enough platforms that offer courses or teachings for like people that are upcoming artists, and I had to work on it by myself. I would say I was self-taught for like the first 2 years of my art career. Everything I did, I learned from YouTube, from practice, from trial and error, and well, I think it helped. It really helped because that was when Ogo the Creator actually started like becoming a name, and I was I was into pen art initially. I loved working with pen, maybe because that was the only medium I knew, but I dropped it at some point because I realized that art is more than blue and white, because this is not black and white like pencil, this is blue and white. And I started embracing colors, and that's when I went into painting full time. So when I got into school, I specialized in painting major, and from there my whole painting journey started. I started exploring with colors, with styles, and right now my style is a fusion of Afrocentrism and line art, which is basically the implementation of motifs, African motifs, especially the uli motifs and Ghanaian Adrinka symbols as well, to tell stories and to express myself. I'm usually drawn towards other artists, and my parents had friends that were actually visual artists, so I used to look up to them and look at what they do. And there's this feeling I have in my mind, like whenever I see a painting, like I used to get very excited, and I already made up my mind like I was going to be a visual artist. Like this kind of thing where they tell you in primary school what do you want to be, all of that. People were saying doctor, lawyer, teacher. I was like, I want to be an artist, and it was very untypical, but that was me. Yeah, my parents support my art both financially and emotionally. Like, I'm a very self-conscious person. I'm a perfectionist, and it kind of affects my work. So they give me this sort of reassurance, and it's not just my parents, my family, like my loved ones. They reassure me that your work is good. It's not bad. It's not like what you think it is in your head. So they usually reassure me that yeah, your work is good, and they've supported me throughout, even before I actually started supporting myself. But they've always been there for me. Being a creative involves a lot of emotional strength, and it's like if you can't handle it, you're going to fall off like immediately. So I've been able to be emotionally keep myself emotionally sane, as well as being able to create at the same time, and that balance is what makes everything better for me as an artist. The most challenging part about being an artist is shunning the voice in your head. Yeah, like as a creative, we don't think like normal people. We have this level of extremity in terms of ideas and creativity, but there are times where it literally turns to madness, where you can't control it, where it feels like there is some sort of mental hallucination that you feel. And there are times where I get very overwhelmed and anxious with my thoughts because I can't do anything about it, and times where I can't create maybe because of stress. It's as if there is a surge of ideas but nowhere to pour it into. I don't like stagnancy. I don't like to be confined to a particular level of creativity. I love to explore and try out new things. So that has kept me moving. That has motivated me to keep creating because there's no end, but there's certainly not a limit as well. So I I always find a way, even if I'm feeling down, even if I'm feeling like stressed, I always find a way to like pick up a pencil. I don't even have to do something big, like a massive painting. Just anything that can just bring out something from my soul, a sketch, anything, like anything in general. So that's what keeps me inspired. And yeah, sometimes actually it's not like a rosy ride. Yeah, sometimes I actually do fall for the stress, and I'm a human being. We all have breakdowns and all of that. But you should be able to pick up yourself when the time is right or when you feel okay. Inflation doesn't only affect food and other stuff, it also affects like art materials. And the worst part is that these materials are not even, sometimes you can't guarantee that they're actually quality. Like there was a time I got canvases from this vendor at Ocean State, and I primed them and I started painting, and I realized that this is actually like fake, even though it looked like authentic. But then it started like behaving as if you wanted to tear. I was like, my money. Challenges of skill sets. There are not enough resources to learn as an artist unless you're doing one-on-one with like a professional. But if you're in school and you already know how shitty the school system is, so you can't learn in school, you have to learn by yourself as an artist. So that's another challenge I face, trying to create and trying to learn at the same time. It's like very overwhelming. Okay, so growing up as an artist, my biggest influence or inspiration or people that I used to look up to were my parents, because they were the closest artists I had at my disposal. But then advancing in my career and my skill, I started coming across various artists, and they actually motivated me to create more and try out different things and push me to do better and push my limits in general. So someone I look up to is Duke Asidare. He's a textural painter. He uses impasto to create very beautiful sceneries and paintings and portraits. You guys check him out. He's very good at what he does. And another person I also look up to is Dotun Pupola. I was actually opportune to work with him for 3 months during my IT. He's a very, even his lifestyle, not just his works, his lifestyle is something that you should emulate if you're a creative. He's very good at what he does. He's actually a welder and a painter as well. He's very well to do. Check him out as well. And someone that I look up to, even though she's not an artist, like a visual artist, is Ira Star. And that's basically because she was able to pull off a lot of weight as a young person in Nigeria. She was able to do a lot of things within the span of 18 to 21. Her new album is like very nice. Oh my god. But like, yeah, she's my inspiration. She motivates me to create. Nobody has the audacity to tell me to stop art or to stop creating. It doesn't work. It cannot happen. Or mommy.
First of all, I was really scared. I thought I was going to mess it up because I find it very uncomfortable to sketch or to walk while being filmed. So this was a miracle. But then at the same time, I think I kind of conveyed my message, especially with the colors and the motifs. I don't know if they're even showing that well, but then I was able to say what I wanted to say.